James pushing the other way. James lost it, gets it back.
LeBron James might be hurt. He's frozen in the backcourt.
You can see him grimace right there.
LeBron James suffered what appeared to be a pulled groin, and this is bad.
When he was talking to the trainers, you could see him mouth the words, "I felt the pop," and he just went back to the locker room.
It was all going so nicely for LA before Christmas when LeBron strained his left groin, an injury that kept him out more than a month. The Lakers went 6-11 while he was out and snowballed right out of the postseason picture, as Bishaw knows all too well. This is now a very different looking team with only LeBron projected to return in the starting lineup, at least in our projection. Kyle Kuzma was a starter last year, obviously, could still start, but he has a foot injury that's going to impact his training camp and preseason at the least. But on the flip side, Anthony Davis looks pretty good as a power forward penciled in there. Maybe not bad as an assistant general manager either.
The front office did a great job of including, LeBron and myself in the decisions, to build this team. Every guy that is on this team, me and LeBron had a say-so in, and I think that's very important. When you go on to war with guys every day, it'd be pretty weird to go to war with a guy that you don't really like. So, they make sure they want to include us in every decision.
That's interesting stuff from AD. It's no secret that star players are sometimes consulted around the league about guys they want to play with. What do you make about what he said?
Well, I think it's pretty smart on the brass of the Lakers to include those guys in the decision making in terms of putting together the roster. It takes some pressure off of Rob Pelinka, because if it doesn't work, he can say, "Well, you guys wanted to told us to do it." No, but it's important for guys to play with other players out there that they feel comfortable with, that they know the positions that they're going to be on the floor, and when they are double teamed and what have you, when they kick it out, they have the confidence that those guys are going to knock down shots and make the right plays. And so, I think it was smart, like I said, on the part of the front office.
I think the first thing you want to do in terms of that front office, especially when you revamp the roster, you want to talk philosophy and style, first and foremost, right? How we're going to play, how we're going to utilize you, what our signature is going to be. And then from that, you start talking about personnel and who fits in those categories, who's available. And I think it is healthy to have those kinds of conversations, because these guys in today's game, they're aware of their worth. The top frontline guys, they understand their value, and they're as concerned about who's on that roster as the front office and the coaching staff.
Right.
They're not just showing up to show up. They're trying to win, and so they want to know. And honestly, it gives everybody a little bit of ownership in that roster, which I think does help this team. Because even for those supporting cast guys, like when they come there, they know they're there not only because the front office wanted them, but the superstars wanted to play with them. So I think it's a huge advantage.
And remember, DeMarcus Cousins signed on with the Lakers as well before he got hurt, unfortunately. So they had to scramble a little bit to put this roster together. Does it make sense the way it's constituted right now?
I think it does. I think that they have some very good defensive players, and they have some shooting, and they have size, and so I think that all the pieces do fit.
Yeah, the pieces fit. The way that the West has now been reshaped helps them as well. Ultimately, though, you talked about this earlier, it's about, do they stay healthy over the course of the regular season?
And you mentioned shooting. That was a big problem for your team last year, 20th in the league in made threes, 29th in terms of three-point percentage. All right, more to get to here when we come back. The latest Lakers star in a long line of them talks about arriving in L.A. and the expectations that accompanied him. The head that wears the crown got a little heavier last season. In his first year in L.A., LeBron James missed more games than ever and missed the postseason for the first time since his second year in the NBA. But the Lakers went big in going after the brow. Anthony Davis arrives in L.A. with a fresh start and more expectations than he's ever faced. Now, from non-playoff qualifier, the Lakers are a favorite to win it all. It's shaping up as a finals or failure season for L.A.
Everyone's talking about the big winners of the summertime. Is it the Nets? Is it the Clippers? Is it the Lakers? It's actually Staples Center. Staples Center is the biggest winner of the summer.
LA It will certainly be a destination for NBA fans and media this year. Good to have you along for the Lakers team preview. 10 points on the upcoming season. Three-time champion with the Lakers, longtime assistant coach Brian Shaw right there. That's Greg Anthony. I'm Matt Weiner. We'll hear from these guys along the way. In one very specific way, this Lakers season has been a long time coming. It was no secret after LeBron James arrived last summer that LA had Anthony Davis in their sights. After giving up a package of really good young players and draft picks, the six-time All-Star now wears purple and gold and gives Laker fans that old contending feeling. Here's the King on his new star sidekick.
We don't know exactly what our offensive things that we're going to do, defensively we're going to do. We haven't got started yet. Like I said, we got a brand new coaching staff. We have brand new players coming into a new system. But we all know how great Anthony Davis is. And if we're not playing through Anthony Davis while he's on the floor, then it makes no sense to have him on the floor because he's that great. And it doesn't mean like every time down, we throw it to him and throw it to him and throw it to him. But we have the ability to do that. And he's been very efficient in his career. He commands double teams. And when you're able to attract two, defenders on one guy, then you have the numbers game. Now you got a 4-on-3 on the backside. So it opens it up for other guys on the floor, including myself.
You think LeBron's been thinking about this a little bit with Anthony Davis? He is well rested. He's had all summer to think about what playing with Anthony Davis will mean for this Laker team. And to me, with all these new duos and trios paired together around the league, there may not be a more compatible duo of superstars than these guys. How will it work together?
I think it's going to work extremely well, and not just because of the overall talent, but if you think about LeBron James and the incredible career he's had, Anthony Davis will be the most talented player he's ever played with. Now, there might be guys who've been more accomplished, but when you look at the pure physical talent of Anthony Davis, none of the guys he's played with have that kind of a skill set. And so you pair him at this stage of LeBron's career, I think it's a match made in heaven, and there is going to be a lot of excitement at the Staples Center.
And I have to agree, with all the points that Greg made. The fact that LeBron has never played with someone as talented as Anthony Davis. When I played for the Lakers under Phil Jackson, we ran the triangle offense, which was basically Kobe and Shaq in a pick and roll or a two-man game on the side and everybody else space out on the other side. And so when you put those two together in a two-man action, anywhere on the court, you have to pick your poison. And when you throw the defense to stop either one of those two, it's just going to open it up for everybody else. And with the addition of the shooting that they added this season, it's going to be pot shots for guys like Danny Green, KCP, Avery Bradley, and some of the perimeter guys that they added to this team.
How will LeBron and AD benefit from each other on the floor?
Well, because, just what I said in terms of the picking your poison. So and I think that LeBron now has somebody else out there that he can trust when he's off the ball. And I don't know that he had that last year. And so when he played in Cleveland with Kyrie Irving, he had that guy who he can give the ball to and defer and let him do his thing. And he has somebody in Anthony Davis as well that, when he's off the ball, he has confidence that he's going to make the right play and open things up for everybody else. And vice versa. When Anthony Davis has it, it opens up LeBron to, do a little bit more playing off the ball as well.
The other aspect of it is when you look at Anthony Davis, he benefits, one, I think his shot quality raises, right? He doesn't have to take as many tough shots. He's a very efficient player, but that's based on him also having to take probably 6 or 7 bad shots a game just by virtue of the talent he played with. You get to eliminate 3 or 4 of those bad shots, make those higher quality shots. So I think that is a huge benefit. From LeBron's standpoint, the fact that you've got a tremendous defensive player in Anthony Davis, that's going to really help at this stage of his career. LeBron's not the defender that he was in his prime.
Right.
Now you got a guy that can kind of erase some of those mistakes with his ability to play in space, because Anthony Davis is not just a rim protector, he's a shot protector, because he can defend in space, 20, 25 feet from the basket. He's got great lateral quickness. And so when you put a guy like that on the floor, not to mention all the other good defenders they have, that benefits their whole team. And so it's not just what he's going to do statistically, Anthony Davis. We talk about great players making people better. That's one way you can make your teammates better. By being a great defensive player, you erase a lot of mistakes, and Anthony Davis has that ability.
There are tons of changes on this team, not just with the roster. Remember, Magic Johnson stepped away at the end of last season. Rob Pelinka is now running basketball operations on his lonesome, and the Lakers also made a coaching change as well. And after drawn-out negotiations with LeBron's old coach, Tyronn Lue, they landed on former Pacers and Magic coach Frank Vogel. In his best years in Indy, you were his assistant there with the Pacers in these 2 seasons. He had great defensive clubs with Paul George and Roy Hibbert, but below average offensive groups. I'll turn to you for this. How will his philosophy on both sides play out in L.A.?
Well, that's the question, and that's the big question that I have for this team in terms of defensively.